Let me start the week with a reality check, a bit of a wake-up call about where we are as a nation, what our challenges are, and especially what the right of centre in politics needs to focus on if it's ever going to both regain public support and get this country back onto the right path. The key points here will be familiar to you. The key points are themes that I've been hammering on this program and writing about incessantly and talking to various guests and experts about as well. But there was a terrific take on these challenges over the weekend, provided by someone with so much experience, so much clout and so much authority that surely it can't be ignored by anyone interested in the future of Australia, in particular anyone currently serving in Parliament with the coalition parties. The person I'm talking about is former Treasurer Peter Costello, arguably the nation's best Treasurer of the post-war era, a man who left this nation and its economy in infinitely better shape than the way he found it, who delivered economic reform and economic performance. A man who also delivered surpluses. Remember them? He paid down debt and he generated economic growth as well as real wages growth. In a fascinating interview in the Weekend Australian with Editor-at-Large Paul Kelly, Costello lamented the nation's economic performance of late, the expansion in the reach of government, the surrender to permanent debt, and the way we've given up the pursuit of budget surpluses. Costello, who now chairs the nation's Future Fund and Nine Entertainment Media, doesn't venture into the national public debate very often these days, which is a pity for us because his insights are pretty useful. So let's see what he says about where we find ourselves towards the end of 2022. Coming out of coronavirus, our situation is different from past crises, Costello told Paul Kelly at The Australian. Nobody seems to think now is the time to get the budget back to surplus. Government is a lot bigger than it was 15 years ago. Tax per capita is higher and spending per capita is about 40% higher. That's a good way to measure the reach of government. But if Australia wants to maintain its competitive position, it cannot have unlimited tax rises. Yeah, so much of the current debate from Labor, from the Greens, from the Teals, many in the media, is not about controlling government reach and government spending, but about the need to increase taxes to pay for all the additional government programs and expenditure. That has to be the wrong approach, entirely the wrong approach. And we desperately need the coalition parties to reassert themselves as the parties of small government. Costello made that same point to Paul Kelly, saying that the Liberal Party had been compromised during the pandemic period and that it would need to rediscover its commitment to the traditional values of personal freedom, small government and lower taxes. Look, there's a little really to add to that, is there? Except, hallelujah, perhaps I'd chuck in affordable, reliable energy. But there it is. It's not rocket science, but this message is absolutely critical for our future. It's time for the coalition to get back to basics, back to its core values.